All right, and here we are with Judy Joo. Welcome to Making Business Personal.
Hi, how are you?
I am good.
Jason, my buddy from another life.
How long have we known each other, Judy? How long have we known each other?
We went to kindergarten together. So
Kindergarten.
how old are you when you start kindergarten? Like three, four?
Well,
Wait, I
no,
don't
see,
know.
I am uniquely positioned to answer this question since I have a
Because you
3-year-old
have,
daughter.
yes, no. So that's
Now,
nursery school. Yeah.
yeah. So things have changed though, because you and I did nursery school and then kindergarten. There is no more nursery school, at least
Oh,
here.
no.
It
Okay.
goes, they make up names for 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, but then once you're a 5-year-old, you're in what they now call TK, not pre-K, TK. And I don't know what the T stands for.
It must stand for something. We
It's
just
got to
don't
stand for
know.
something. But
Yeah.
that replaces what you and I had as
Oh,
nursery school.
ugh.
And then you go into
Teeny kindergartners.
teeny
Teeny,
kinders.
teeny kinders.
Yeah.
Teeny tiny kinders. That's
Teeny
what it
tiny
stands
kinders.
for sure.
And then at 6 years old, you go into kindergarten. So you and I have known each other since we were
Since you're
6 years
six
old.
years old. Okay,
So
so
for
only for
20 years, we've known each other
20
for 20
years.
years.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Totally. And then you left to move to Rhode Island in fourth grade.
Yes. I left in 4th grade. And so now Judy and I went to a school together that was
Yes.
all girls
Yes.
after what
Yes.
grade? When did it become?
It right after you left, they actually kind of kicked all the boys out of fourth grade. So
Basically,
you were,
I left and
yes,
they said, yeah, enough with the penises.
yes, totally.
We're going all girls from here
Yeah.
on.
And you were one of four boys in the school in our grade.
There was me, Che Doga, Chase
Steve,
Horner, Chris
Stephen,
Forrest,
what's Stephen? Six, Stephen Engler.
Steven Angler. And yeah, because there was another guy named Ryan who left after 2nd grade. He and Chase Horner were best friends.
Oh, I vaguely remember Ryan. I don't have such strong memories of him though. And
Yeah,
you
and
went to
now Chris
Rocky
Forrest.
Hill, Rhode Island.
Yeah, how did you know
I
that?
remember this. I have strange memory. Yes.
That's
And
insane.
Rocky Hill, Rhode Island. Chris Forrest. Yes. Do you
Chris
stay in
Forrest,
touch?
he is like super high up in the military, like super secret, knows all the things. He knows where all
No
the bodies are buried.
way.
Oh yeah. He
I
was
gotta
with
Google him.
Yeah, he was a fighter pilot, and then he became super senior with the Air Force. I believe he consulted for a while, then he went back to the Air Force, and now I think he's one of the heads of Spaceport.
Shut up.
No, I'm serious. I'm
Okay,
serious.
could we have like a reunion of the boys of Kent Place?
I would love to. I would absolutely. Well,
They're only,
Che
yeah.
Doga and I are still friends. Like I
No way.
still talk
Where's
to
he?
him. He is well, we're
He's a
not that good friends. I don't know
teacher.
where he lives, but he
He's
was
a,
a teacher. He
he's a
retired.
teacher.
He retired.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lucky
but he
him.
was a
Okay.
robotics teacher.
That's right. Remember, he became an engineer. He and Stephen Engler became engineers, which is so fitting. And I remember that because I'm an engineer. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they were
fitting.
best friends.
Anyway, yeah, they
So
were.
you said right before we started recording, you said you just talked to someone who was my 1st and 2nd grade girlfriend. Like she was
Yes.
my
Suzanne
squeeze.
Santola.
Suzanne
Suzanne
Santola.
Santola. Now Suzanne Mulligan.
Okay.
She is very high up at Cantor Fitzgerald. She is running their like biotech IPO banking division and doing amazingly well. Two
Of
kids who
course she
go
is.
to Kent Place. Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if you went to Kent Place, those of you who know New Jersey know Kent Place, it's no surprise that the 15 people or 16 people who are in our class are all now quasi running the world or Space Force.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. Well, we've just
Except for
been
me.
on, except for me. I just did an assembly at Kent Place last week. I spoke to the middle school. They had me in to speak. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
The upper school, actually. I spoke to the upper school. I forgot.
Were
Yeah.
you there in person or was it
I
virtual?
was there in person. Yeah. I was there in person. I went to campus. Looks nothing like when we were there. It's very nice and modern and, like university level laboratories and it's insane. Yeah.
My
It's very
memories
cool.
of it are probably nowhere near as good as yours because I left when I was 9. But I
Yeah.
do have fond memories of asking. the crossing guard if you could cross the street.
Yes.
He was also the shop teacher.
Yes, Mr. Graham.
Mr. Graham, may we please cross? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Mr. Graham. I
Yeah.
remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so Judy, you left Kent Place and went where? Where did you study?
I went to Columbia University for engineering.
Oh, so smart. She's so smart. Judy Joo is so smart. She went to Columbia
Columbia,
University to study engineering.
yeah, Columbia has a lot of issues right now. They're in the news a lot. Yeah. We won't talk about that.
Everybody's in the news a lot these days.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, so Columbia's my alma mater. Studied engineering there. I did operations research, industrial engineering. Yeah, IEOR, industrial engineering operations research, actually.
And did you spend any time engineering or did you go straight to Wall Street?
I went straight to Wall Street. Yeah, I had some internships in the sciences, engineering stuff, but then I went to school in New York, and back then, when we graduated, it was a while ago. It was kind of the Wolf of Wall Street days, like Lehman Brothers is still open. Yeah, all the like Solomon was still around, Smith Barney, all of the banks that are now closed, and money was growing on trees. And going to school in New York City, you couldn't help but feel the draw, all the money. You could smell it uptown. That was in finance. And so you were lured downtown into these finance jobs, and
What did
everybody
late
went in.
90s money, what did it smell like late 90s money?
Oh, it was dirty. It smelled dirty but good. It was.
The remnants of
I
Gordon Gekko.
I mean, you know what? It's funny because like when I was there, it was pre Me Too. It was pre woke anything, So like we were still taking clients to strip clubs a lot, like it was like money was growing on trees. You had to go out more, spend more money. There was always an excess of champagne and caviar, and you're like, oh, Chateau Lafitte again. And it was this work though, it was all work. You never had vacation. It was easily 100 hours a week, easily. Like 3 a.m. was a good night, that was Saturday night. So there was a lot of work, but it was very much work hard, party hard. Yeah,
Where were you
very
living?
much. In Manhattan, right after school, I shared a one-bedroom apartment with my sister, who moved to New York after she graduated. She graduated in '95, a couple years before before we did, and she went to Yale. She was a smart one in the family, and so she moved to New
So
York after.
so she was the smart one. So Columbia, that's just bottom tier. That's just one above Dartmouth, right?
Exactly. I know, right? Second tier Ivy. And so we shared a one bedroom on 110th Street in Amsterdam.
My
And
gosh,
we
we were
literally,
almost neighbors, you and
were
I.
you up there? Gosh.
I was on 105th, but on the other side of the park between 5th and Madison.
Oh, okay. So you were like, yeah, you were in the
I was in
ghetto.
Spanish Harlem. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, it was
In the
nicer back. Yeah, in the
ghetto.
ghetto. I liked because I used to hang out there. Anyway, but I know exactly where that was. It's a lot nicer now. Now it's
Oh my
much, much
gosh, it's ridiculous.
nicer.
My apartment,
It's so nice. Yeah.
when my old roommate and I, Sal, when we got our apartment, 5-floor walk up, right?
Wow.
Two
Yeah.
bedroom, one bathroom. It was pretty big though. It was really
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
We paid, our opening rent was like $14.50 a month, right?
Wow.
By the time we moved out 10 years later, it had gone up to maybe, I think, 2,300.
Yeah.
When we moved out, they turned it into a 4-bedroom and it was 5,000 a month.
Wow. Yeah.
4-bedroom, one
Oh
bathroom, 2 closets.
my gosh. Yeah. It
Yeah.
really gentrified. But I
Yeah.
remember, because I went to school up there, like we were hanging out kind of east, west, all over the place. It didn't really matter. I mean, looking back now, it's like probably a little bit dangerous, but it was
Yeah,
okay.
but it
It
was a
was
different
fine.
kind of danger. It was a different kind
Yeah.
of danger, you know?
It was it
Um,
was it was gritty. It was fun. And also like I feel like I mean even Columbia was a little bit gritty, it wasn't as nice as it is now for sure. Yeah, for sure.
I
Yeah.
shot
I
my
mean New
first
York
film at
City.
Columbia,
Yeah. Oh, really? What film was that?
the first Spider-Man movie.
What year was that?
That had to be 2000. We shot it before the towers went down. and then they had to re-edit it because there was a whole scene with the towers. They had to re-edit,
Oh
but
my
yeah,
gosh.
I think we shot that in 2000.
Cool.
It was my first feature film, and I had
Where
4
were you?
lines, and they all
Oh,
got cut.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
hated it when this campus got shut down for
yeah.
filming
They
a
shut it
lot.
down.
All the
Yeah,
time. All the time it happened. I remember A Mirror Runs Through It with Barbara Streisand was filming for like days when we were on campus, and they shut the entire, so you have to walk all the way around. It like adds like a mile to what your normal, daily walk across campus would be. So it's like you're late to all your classes and everything. It's such
yeah.
a pain. We're like, who's
Well,
paying tuition here?
Meryl Streep doesn't care. Meryl Streep's like, I just, just get my close up, Mr. DeMille. So you were
Exactly.
okay. So you studied engineering
Yeah.
at Columbia, but then you went
Mhm.
right into finance. You
Finance.
went right into, but so what were you do? You were with Merrill Lynch, right?
Morgan Stanley.
Morgan Stanley.
I worked at Goldman too, and then for summer, then I did my analyst program, Morgan Stanley, and yeah, worked my butt off. I was doing fixed income sales and trading, specialized in derivative products, and worked there for about 6 years, something like that. Yeah,
You were on your way. Like you had a target. You were going up. You know, if you had
yeah.
stayed there, you would
I'd
probably
be
be a partner somewhere. You
somewhere
know,
global head of something. Yeah, all my
you'd
friends
have
who
a
stayed are all global heads of something.
yeah, you'd
Yeah.
have your G7. You know,
hmm
flying around the world,
I don't know.
staying at the Maldives and not cooking, So,
Yeah, exactly,
so,
exactly.
so you're killing it. What did you love about that? What did you love about it?
I learned so much, and I love the
Like
high
what?
pace
What'd you learn?
nature of it. Oh my God, you learn so much just through osmosis. I mean, I was on the trading floor. I wasn't in banking. I was on the trading floor side, so sales and trading side, which is very different. So every day you didn't know what was going to happen. Like the markets are moving, and a bid list would hit. Something would, interest rates move. A company would announce they're missing earnings or something. A merger and acquisition or something. It was always something unplanned. So that was very exciting, and having to execute and really honing this incredible memory because people are just yelling trades at you,
Mhm.
like you know 15 or 50 6 and 5/8 of some weird ticker like TDYX of 29 or something, and so you have to like know what all that means, and you know lining up treasuries for the hedge, all of this stuff. It was chaos every day. I had 6 8 screens in front of me and 30 something phone lines, 2 handsets, a headset. You had a time to go to the bathroom. You couldn't leave your desk. It,
So
it
you,
was mental. Yeah.
so you're in New York. You're learning
hmm
all this stuff. I mean,
hmm
listen, I've seen the trade floor in movies,
hmm
and
Yeah,
it looks crazy. It looks
it's
nuts.
crazy. It
And I would
is.
imagine you were making some serious money. Okay.
Never had time to spend any of it because
Never
I
had time
think
to
I
spend it,
took,
but
no, I think I took 5 days of vacation in 2 years.
okay.
Yeah.
But
That was like normal
listen,
too. Yeah.
living
Yeah.
being broke in New York sucks. And I can tell you that
Yes.
firsthand. Okay. It
Yes,
sucks.
it's
Uh,
true.
it's not easy because
Yeah.
it's not like you live in a climate that it's okay if you don't have heat or you don't have air conditioning. Like
Yeah,
you'll
it's true.
die if
It's,
you don't have
it's,
heat,
yeah. Or air conditioning. It's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
So and
Yeah.
then everybody's loving life and it seems like you're not, right? But you had a great job and you had a fast-paced life. Things were looking bright. So what happened? What changed? Because for those of you who don't know Judy, she is no longer on Wall Street. Judy is
No.
incredible. Well, you know this because in the intro, I already said all
Yes.
this stuff. But
Okay.
if
Yeah.
you're just
So,
coming in now, who tunes
yeah.
in 8 minutes into a podcast? But
Mm,
what
yeah.
happened? Tell me what
So
happened.
I was basically sick. I was working so much. I was never sleeping. I moved out to San Francisco because I got promoted to become an associate. And I moved out to San Francisco because I was like, I got to get out of this like New York City rat race. And I got promoted. I got a job Morgan Stanley in San Francisco, but it was working New York market hours on the West Coast. So I had to wake up every day at 3 a.m., you know, be I had to be in the office at 3 a.m. like, because of morning meetings. And so it was just insane, and then I still had to travel and do all of the dinners and entertaining and, fly to LA just for dinner, come back on the last flight, still be in my desk the latest by 3:30 AM. I was sleeping maybe 2, 3 hours every night and never taking a vacation. I was tethered to my Blackberry. Back then you had Blackberries,
Hmm.
um, it was just work, 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 work. Like, and I think I had sinusitis and laryngitis for 9 months straight. Like, I don't think I was ever going to get my voice back. And my doctor was just like, you need to sleep, and it's just like nothing was working. And, I was just getting burnt out. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to quit. I'm like, I'm going to quit. I don't love this. I'm learning a lot, but I am like a slave, I was like literally like a slave to my company. I got paid well, but I had no time to do anything for me. There was no work-life balance. And I didn't love what I was doing. And so I decided to quit, and I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I loved food, and that was really clear to me. I didn't know what that was, what that meant at the time and what it was going to lead to, like what I was doing now. But I just knew that I had to be part of this like crazy world of food because I love to eat. I love flavors. I loved restaurants. I loved experiences. I loved cookbooks. I loved the whole thing. I
So
loved watching
up
cooking
until this
shows.
point,
Yeah.
let me
hmm
up until this point, what was your cooking experience? Like, did you learn to cook when you were little? Did you and your sister cook in the kitchen? Like,
Yeah, we did. My mom and dad used to employ us to cook and help out all the time in the kitchen and stuff because they were immigrants, and back then you couldn't buy all of the stuff pre-made. Like now you can buy everything pre-made. So if they wanted to eat kimchi, they had to make it from scratch. If they wanted anything, they had to make it from scratch. There was always something, bubbling and brewing in our kitchen and something fermenting in the backyard and chilies drying on the picnic table, and, acorns being husked or something. I mean, it was all kinds of stuff. Like I was embarrassed to have friends over, because everything was like seaweed drying in the garage and all these things. And like,
I can
you know,
remember, I can remember back
mm.
when we were in first grade, second grade. First of all, I remember learning about the Korean flag
Oh,
because
okay.
I
I did a
remember
book report or something.
you did a book report or something, and we learned all about the Korean flag. And I remember you used to have different food
Huh?
than my food,
Yeah.
and or all of our foods,
Yeah.
and it was fascinating to me. And I remember that, and there were a couple of cultural days at Kent Place in our class that were all about Korea,
Yeah.
and I'm just remembering that now.
I made
So
dumplings for the class once. We made
did you?
dumplings. Yeah. We brought that in, and then yeah, all different things. So it was fun. It
Was
was
that in the
fun.
third grade that you made dumplings
It might have been
with Mrs. Arroway?
Mrs. Arroway, who became Mrs. She got married.
Did she?
Yeah, she got married. She became Mrs. something else. I forget what though. Yeah.
She was a tough one.
She was a tough one.
She
Yeah,
was the
she was a
tough
tough
third grade teacher, let
she
me
was a
tell you.
tough third grade teacher. Yeah. Mrs. Monahan is what she became.
Mrs. Monahan. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mrs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Monahan. That's see, Mrs. Monahan. If you find out, okay, so next year you're going to be in class with Mrs. Arroway, that sounds frightening. But if you're going to be in class with Mrs. Monahan, that's okay. All right. I think I
You're
could
like,
cut this year.
yeah, you're like, I'm down with that. That's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mrs. Monahan.
absolutely.
She brings in muffins every Thursday. Mrs. Arroway has a ruler.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That's so
So,
true.
all right. So you grew up cooking, which is
hmm
fantastic. And you knew
Yeah.
you wanted to do something with food. But I can't
hmm
imagine that in those crazy Wall Street days, you had time to cook.
No, didn't. Never. Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, I was eating 3 meals at work every day, even on the weekends, all 3 meals at work.
I
Unless we
bet
took
you
a
were.
client out, and then we had meals like in the best restaurants around New York
That's what
City.
That's what I was
Yeah.
going to ask. I would bet you were eating some of the most incredible food. Because if those of you who have never dined in New York, you
Mm,
could eat at a different restaurant in New York every
every
day for the
night.
rest of your
Every
life and
night.
never eat at the same restaurant twice. Yeah.
Yeah, and back then, I mean, we used to go to Le Bernardin all the time. So many great, like fantastic places. So that's really where I got my taste of fine dining and learned, like, because I didn't grow up eating that. Like, like when we grew up, it was like Olive Garden, or something like that. Like that was it, that was the fancy night out. Was Olive Garden, and then and so yeah, that's where I got like a taste of what the fine dining scene was and what restaurants were and all that. Yeah. Hmm.
So you knew you were getting burned out, you weren't happy, which and you were still in your 20s. For
Hmm.
someone in their 20s to identify, I'm not happy, and
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure it has to do with my chosen career, that's a rarity, especially
Well,
today.
it
Well,
was also
maybe
because I was like broken, like I've been working 100-hour weeks for like 5 years straight. Okay. I was sick for 9 months. I was like, I was so skinny. I was so skinny. I was like 100 pounds, like,
oh my
and
gosh.
no, I
And
was like,
Judy's
I was,
6'5", so to be
yeah,
100 pounds, like that's just frightening. I mean,
I
she
was
was the
so
starting
skinny.
center at Kent Place, so
Exactly. I know. So it was just, I just, I burnt out. I really burnt out, I would have to say. Yeah, I burnt
okay.
out.
So so what was the order of operations? Was it let me find something new and then you left, or did you just say, "Hey, listen, I'm done. I'm going to take some time and figure out what I want to do."
No, I knew what I wanted to do. I
Okay, so what
quit.
was it?
I quit and then I rolled in cooking school like a month later.
All right.
Hmm.
Which one?
French culinary student in New York City. I came back to New York,
Of course. Yeah,
went
of
to the
course.
FCI. Yeah.
And how long is culinary school?
Well, I did not do CIA, which you get an undergraduate degree also, which I think you get like a some kind of 2 year undergraduate something or other. But I was like, I already have a 4 year degree from an Ivy League school in engineering. Like, I don't need to do this, and I don't need another
I
undergraduate
just want to
degree.
I
So
just want to make sure that everybody knows that you went to an Ivy League school. Because you've only mentioned it 4 times. So I think to really get it in there, we got to make
Well,
sure
no,
we get at least
no,
10, 10 mentions.
I keep saying I'm the dumbass of the family, and I went to
Yeah,
a second
it's
rate
not flying.
school.
It's not
It went
flying.
to
It's
second
not
rate
flying. I'm
school,
sorry.
yeah,
You've got
and
you've got
then
brains, you've got talent, you've got
yeah,
humor, you've got
no,
beauty.
no,
It's
no, no,
not
no,
flying. Okay,
no.
I'm
Anyway,
sorry.
so I decided to go to a 6 month program. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like, because I was like, I don't need to do the whole undergraduate thing again, and so that was a process behind that. And then I actually have a degree in pastry arts. So I went um, to get a pastry degree just because I love science and I love the science of cooking.
Okay. So you went to school for engineering.
Mhm.
Now I would imagine I love to cook. My wife and I we cook together all the time. I don't know anything about engineering. I build things.
Mm.
I love to
Yeah,
build
you
things, but
do. So you're an
but I,
engineer,
well, I wouldn't ride anything I build. You know what I mean? Um,
but
I,
you use the things you build. So
yes, I
yeah,
do. In fact, after our interview, I'll be going to my shop and I'm building something today for a friend.
there
So,
you go. Yeah.
but
So
but
that
I
is
would
all
imagine
engineering.
a little bit, yeah, a little bit. But
Totally.
I'm the DeVry of engineering. I'm not Ivy League. So I'm the
DeVry is
New
a good
England tractor.
school.
Yeah,
DeVry is
New
a good
England tractor
school. Do
trailer.
not knock it. DeVry is
I'm
a good
sorry,
school.
DeVry. All of my listeners who went to DeVry, I would love to do your commencement speech. I love you all. Anyway,
Yeah.
so, but I would imagine that there's a strong crossover between engineering and cooking.
Oh, 100%, definitely.
Yeah.
It's all science. The
So
kitchen is a laboratory.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
a chemistry lab.
when did you identify? A lot of people decide at around like 15, 16, this is what I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah, they don't know that
When did
though. Yeah.
engineering become like something that you realized, hey, this comes pretty easy to me?
I was always better at math and science. I loved Legos growing up. I never played with Barbies really. I was all about the Constructo straws and Legos. And back then, Legos were just bricks. They weren't like, you know what I mean? Like you had to use your imagination to build things. It wasn't like you got a box and you just made the Millennium Falcon and that was it. Like it was just like a
Oh,
box of
yeah.
odd pieces and you made whatever you wanted. There was no like diagram of stuff to make or it was So you really had to like imagine things and you broke them down and you made new things and all this stuff. So, and I played with my Lincoln Logs all the time and Capsella, if you remember
Oh my gosh,
Capsella.
Capsella.
Yeah, I
I
had
loved Capsella.
I
Throw
loved
throw the instructions away and just build something. That was amazing.
totally, completely. So I was always more of a, I guess, like that type of thinker. Plus, I was always a tomboy. Like I always just wanted to, you know, run around and play in the dirt and stuff, like and climb things. I never, I guess, gravitated towards, I guess, I don't know, dolls
Towards
and more of
girl
like the
things.
girl things, I guess, And so the engineering came more quickly to me. And back then, the application for Columbia College and Columbia Engineering was the same application. There was a small checkbox on the upper right corner. And I remember distinctly taking my pen and hovering, like, do I go to college, liberal arts, or do I go to engineering? Like it was, and I was like, what do I was like, oh, engineering school, I'm better in math and science. I'll go to engineering. Like that was
Mhm.
like I didn't realize what I was getting into, honestly. It was kind of an accident. And I get there and it's so hard. I'm like, I am so dumb. I am such a dumbass. Like I cannot be an engineer. I am like the bottom of my class. I just wanted to graduate. Like no like visions of being top 5 or valedictorian or anything. I was like, I am lucky if I can even just get through this program, which I did well enough to get myself a job, but it was really hard, but I love the way engineering, it teaches you a thought process and a way of thinking and a way of solving problems. And I think that that's useful for absolutely everything. And even now, when I'm designing and building restaurants, like everything is engineering. And it's particularly about operations. Operations research is all about kitchens, the process flow, the design of kitchens, where things come out of the customer flow, the flow and the journey of the back of house, material science engineering, cleaning, is this thing going to chip? Is it durable? Is it going to stain? Are my chairs, my tables, everything? How easy is it to clean? The floor, all of this is engineering and ergonomics. I want my chairs to be comfortable, but not too comfortable. You want people to stay too long. The lighting, acoustic engineering in terms of sound, like the way, it's so annoying when restaurants are too loud,
Mhm.
right? And lighting has to be bright enough, but not too dark, but dark enough, but not, all of these things. This is all about creating an ambience. This is all engineering. All science touches all of this. Yeah.
What's so fascinating and encouraging about
Mhm.
what you're saying is you found your genius. You found your brilliance at a very young age, but had no idea how you would apply it and how it would flow through so many areas of your life through different career
Yes,
choices, through
that's
different
true.
passions. And
Yeah.
and all the things you just laid out about it's all engineering. Then there's
Mm.
also the social engineering part of it, right?
Oh
Like
yeah,
the human
totally.
connection, the talking
Absolutely.
to different types of people when you have to have a conversation with somebody. So
Mhm. That's marketing.
everything is
That's
marketing.
marketing and PR.
Yep.
Social
You know,
engineering. So yeah, no, it's really, but I have to say that like I kind of feel like I was lucky also, but at the same time I do believe that you make your own luck. And I do believe that some things were almost accidental, so the fact that I applied to engineering school was like almost accidental. I didn't think it through all the way. So I feel like I almost have this like blind, like naivete that somehow works out almost, kind
so
of, I
this
guess.
this
Yeah.
this right here, Judy,
Mm.
that is your genius. So when people like you who are
Yeah.
brilliant at something, you don't
Brilliant.
recognize you're brilliant at it. To
I
you,
guess that.
it was luck or I just happened to work out. No, that's your brilliance.
I
Because for
guess so.
most people, 99% of people, it would not have worked out. And had it
I,
truly would have been luck.
well, I think it's I don't know. I think honestly it's my work ethic that has really
Okay.
helped things along. you know.
What
The
is your
f-
work ethic? Can you describe your work
my
ethic?
work ethic was not always great. My parents had to basically chain me to a desk practically to get me to study. No, literally, like I was not the kid that wanted to study. My sister was, which is why she went to a better school than I did. I'm the second rate Ivy. My parents cried when I didn't get
That's
into
6
Yale.
Ivy League references if
Okay,
you're counting.
exactly,
6.
exactly, exactly. So my parents like were not happy that, I was only going to Columbia, and that's literally what they said. Judy didn't study as much, but for me, it was the perfect place where I really, blossomed because I loved being in New York City. I loved, so somebody ringing my door. No, I'm not gonna get my door. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's late there. What time is it in
You
London?
know what? It's my, they have a doorman who is probably, um,
Actually, I kind of want you to answer the phone. Maybe we have another
let me,
guest. No.
let me just see. I'll be right back. Hang on.
Yeah. Judy has to answer the phone or answer the door, and this could be anybody. What's fascinating about what she is talking about is that it's hard to recognize your own brilliance, and even if you do recognize it, it's hard to give it the credit that it should, because it's so easy for us to say, now anybody could do that, or that was just luck. I'm going to pause this and we'll come back when Judy's back.
Well,
She's back. What did you get?
I got flowers. I don't know.
She
Does it
got
say?
flowers. Well, you're welcome. I sent those before the.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank. I got a dozen red
Wow.
roses.
I think that's 2 dozen red roses.
I think it is 2 dozen red roses.
Um,
Who's
do you
this
know who
from?
sent those?
No, I'm about to find out.
This is fascinating.
You know,
Love could be in the air right now.
no, I think it's probably like from my publisher for my book or something.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about your book soon. So, what's it
Oh,
say? Read the note.
it's congratulations on your new book. Your dedication and passion I witnessed firsthand as you wrote your book across oceans and the far south of the planet in Patagonia. I was in Patagonia and I was working on my book. Wishing you much success and joy, Maggie. So one of my very good dear girlfriends. She's so sweet. Aw. Yes, that's very nice.
But so, so your ability to write a book intercontinentally and all
Well,
over the world, is
you
that
can write a
also
book
luck?
anywhere.
Oh, can you? So I wonder how many people have done that.
Well, first I was in Patagonia for my 50th birthday. So I didn't do a party or anything. Yes, I'm 50. Yeah, we're
When
both
was your
50.
birthday? Yeah, when was your
December.
birthday? So you're old. You're older than I am.
I
You're 4 months older than
am.
I am.
Oh, happy birthday.
Mine was April 3rd. Yeah.
Oh, it just passed. So,
Half century, baby. Halfway to
half
100.
century, exactly, exactly. I know, half a century. So, my just a dear friend of mine, Maggie, and I decided that we were going to go to Patagonia. We wanted to bring a group of maybe like other like just a bunch of girls and just go to Patagonia. So like, why not like a bucket list trip? But we booked it so late, 6 months in advance, and it was late that there were no other rooms available. So we got the last room, the villa, this one resort that we wanted to go to, and so it ended up just being the two of us. And so, oh, she,
You have to book. You have to book that far in advance to go there.
well, where we wanted to go was very small, and what we
Okay.
wanted to do. So it was, yeah, it was a journey. And so I was working on my book while in Patagonia. So it's very sweet of her to send that to me. That's very nice. I have some amazing friends, amazing friends. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
important are your friends to your life right now?
Oh my God, my friends are everything. Yeah. So I'm divorced. So I've been essentially single for, gosh, I have a boyfriend now, which is a new thing for me, but I've been single for like 10 years. Yeah. Been divorced for about 10 years.
But you have a
So my
boyfriend now.
friends, I do have a boyfriend now. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I know. Interesting, right? I never have a boyfriend anyway. But
Hearts
yeah.
breaking around the world.
Oh, so fun. Yeah, so he's actually stateside. He's in New York.
My
Yeah.
gosh, you're such an expat. He's stateside. He's
He's
actually stateside
stateside.
right now. Yeah,
Yes, he's stateside.
he's not on the continent anymore.
He said, "Oh, he's in the colonies."
Is he across the pond?
He's across the pond.
Yeah.
Exactly.
First of all, I'm
Yeah.
just glad that you're not speaking with a British accent because all of my
No.
friends who have lived in the UK for like 10, 15 years all have this quasi British accent that I just
No.
want to smack out of them
Oh, yeah,
because
no.
it's so
I'm
put on.
I am
Yeah.
such a Jersey girl at heart still,
That's right.
I'm such a
Yeah.
Jersey girl. But anyway, what were we talking about before
So
I
so
got interrupted? Yeah.
so I was telling you
Yes.
that what comes
Oh,
easy to
accidental.
you,
Yeah.
it wasn't luck.
Uh,
It's easy to say something's luck, but you put yourself in the position to to take advantage of an opportunity. Is that luck or is that
yeah,
strategic placement?
yes, and I also feel that, you have to be of a certain type of person, or people have to like you in order to help you or to open their doors to you, because none of this happens alone, as life, you're not an island. You have to do deals with other people. You have to meet people and be able to work with them. And so, you know and the world is a small place at the end of the day. And yeah, and it's important to I mean, this sounds so hokey, but it's really is important to, like, to be a good person, I feel, so. And staying in touch with some of these old friends is good. Um being opening up, like, your doors to others also, and others people open up their doors to you too. So I think that's always important. And yeah, and just, like, over time, like, we're 50 now, so we've cultivated a large network of people. But believe me, like, I hear stories of people not behaving well, or, people not liking other people, whatever, all the time, and it gets around, so always try to, over deliver, you know, be easy and professional to work with, um, and hopefully, like, all the good that you give out there will come back to you in some way or another. Yeah.
How do you keep yourself on accountable for that? For example, you say it's important to be a good person and
Yeah.
and people need to like you, right?
Mhm.
Those I think most people would agree that it's important to be a good person.
Mhm.
It's very difficult today with all of the distractions to continue to be kind to other people.
Yeah.
But the other thing that you said is for people to like you. Now,
Mhm.
some will say, I'm not going to change who I am, or I'm not going to do this. You either like me or you don't. Okay. So
Yeah.
how do you do that? How do you
I mean,
maintain a kindness and a generosity so that people are approachable with you?
I think, well, first of all, I think you have to like yourself first and foremost. So it sounds so hokey, but it's kind of true. And I am not perfect at all. Like, and I've not had a perfect life at all. I had a terrible divorce. I've had lots of medical issues. I've learned and grown and everything. I've not had a perfect, like, by far, right? Um, did I ever think that I'd be 50 and single and childless? Like, never in a million years did I ever think that that would ever be possible, And I'm kind of like, wow, how did that happen? But at the same time, these are the cards that the world, the universe threw at me, and this is what's happened. And actually, you know what? I quite like the person I am today. And I wouldn't be this person if I didn't go through all that pain, sorrow, all of the toxicity that I've been on the receiving end of. It's not a perfect journey for everyone. Like, there's so much failure in success too. Like, how many doors, like, this, being an actor, like, how many doors do you knock down, pounding the pavement? You're always kind of like, always like chasing something, right? And you get rejected all the time. And so much failure. Like, you go out for tenders on bids on sites, like, you're rejected, failure, failure, failure. So I think especially in, like, our older age, that you just kind of like, okay, like, I'm used to the failure. I embrace it. I learn from it. I learn from every single day. I learned from all of my relationships. I learned from my divorce. I learned from, you know, all the surgeries I've had, all of these things, and it gives you perspective. It really does. It lets you appreciate people. It also has helped me um also be very picky and also create boundaries in my life too. Like, I don't like to have any negativity around me, really. So people who are negative, or people who I don't particularly find um positive, or just like Debbie Downers. Like, I don't want to hang out with people like that, because their energy affects me, So I've cultivated an amazing group of friends, like girlfriends who, she's not even my lover or anything. She's not my boyfriend. She sent me 2 dozen roses. You know what I mean? That's amazing. That's an amazing friend. Like,
Yeah, that
we
is
are
a good friend.
all rooting for each other. Like, we are happy for each other's successes, like from our heart, from our core. Like, we'll cry together, like it's none of this like keeping up with Joneses, like what handbag do you have? Like, ooh, how
Hmm.
big's your diamond ring? Or like, what kind of car you drive? It's none of that. It's like it's almost like therapy. It's like, okay, like my life is not perfect. In some ways, like a lot of things suck, but in some ways, a lot of things are going right. And we're every day, trying to be a better person. And I'm not saying like you have to be liked by everybody, because it's impossible to have 100% approval rating, right? Impossible. But when you're doing business, at the end of the day, nobody wants to work with assholes, period. And you know what? If I'm looking for a partner, or if I'm going to put a client, or if I'm a landlord, I'm going to put a restaurant in here or something, I'm going to put in somebody who in there, or I'm going to work with somebody who is a joy to work with. I don't want to hire somebody that's going to suck the energy out of me, who is always scowling, who is in a bad mood, and I'm walking on eggshells around. I deal with enough stress in my life at this point in my career also. Like, I can be choosy. Maybe early on in my career, I would work with an asshole or somebody who I find difficult. But now I'm like, if you are not kind and nice and a pleasure to work with and professional, if you're not on time, if you're drinking on the job, if you're da da da, you know what I mean? Like, you know what it's like, but there, I don't want to deal with you. And I
Yeah.
can find somebody else who can do your job, because at the end of the day, everyone is replaceable. I'm replaceable. You're replaceable. Everyone is replaceable. And so when I say like you need to be liked, it's not like, it's like it, in a professional world, be professional, be fun and a joy to work with, because that's half the battle. Because you know what? It's like you got to sit next to that person every day for 12 hours, maybe longer. Do you want to sit next to that person every day for 12
Yeah.
hours?
Yeah.
It's that simple. Yeah.
And you know, your talent only gets you so far. I mean, your ego or your personality will outweigh your talent.
Mhm.
And so you can be the most talented person in the world, but if your ego or your attitude is driving me nuts, I'm sorry, man. Take your
Yeah, you're
talent
not
out the
worth it.
door. So,
Exactly.
so
And
you know,
you've
and
seen
and
that in
it's
the acting world. Like, sometimes
oh,
great actors, but they're
I mean,
difficult. Ego,
we just we
hire
just
somebody
lost one
else,
of the we just lost one of the greatest actors of his generation, Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer was one of the best film actors of his generation,
but
but he
difficult,
never worked with the same director twice because he was
difficult,
so difficult.
difficult.
And listen, it's the choice you make. I'm not listen, if you want to have a what you call integrity and say I'm not going to bend, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you, but I'm also not going to hire you again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so let me ask you,
Mm.
you had an interesting journey because you got out of culinary school and you became a chef for hire. You didn't just open your own
No,
business.
no, no, no. I
So
cut my
so
teeth. Yeah.
yeah, take us through this tooth cutting that led to what is now Soulbird and your empire.
I wouldn't call it an empire. very small. I'm very
Okay,
small.
your
Anyway,
fiefdom. Your fiefdom. There you go.
my little colony. I have a little tiny, I have some little chickadees, and I'm lining them up in a row.
Okay, your Columbia of the culinary world. Okay.
Not even, not even, not even. Oh my gosh. You're not gonna let me live that down. But anyway, so it's I started working at magazines mostly. So remember when like Time Out was a magazine?
Yeah,
So I
I
worked
was
at
a
Time Out.
subscriber.
I was a restaurant reviewer for them. I worked at Saveur magazine. Also, I did recipe development and worked in their editorial team. And I also worked for a nonprofit called Slow Food USA, and I started their first inner city slow food in schools project. If you remember the edible schoolyard and all of that with Alice Waters, as she started out in Berkeley, California, I started the first inner city one in Harlem, in New York, which is why I know kind of where you live too, because we were at the Children's Storefront School on 125th between Madison and Fifth. And so we did that. I also, where else did I work? I was doing a lot of freelancing, just
How
as
did you just out of curiosity, how did you have the confidence or know that you could be a writer? How did you know that?
um I was writing in school. You're always writing stuff, essays and
Well, just
papers.
because you have to write doesn't mean you're a writer. Like, for example,
Okay.
everyone sees my guitars. I've got all these guitars in my office, and people ask me all the time, "Oh, so you're a musician?" And I say, "No, I can play the guitar, but I'm not a musician." There's a difference, right?
Okay.
Because
Well, no,
like
I think
everyone,
I
not
think if you can
everybody.
play, you're a musician.
Look, I'm not going to argue it with you because you're
Okay.
probably right. You're probably right. However, just because you
Okay.
have a driver's license doesn't mean you can win an F1 race. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's true. Well,
There's
that's
there's a
different. If you're getting
driver
paid for something versus just doing
and
it
you
as a
were getting
hobby.
paid to write. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Okay, yes,
So
yes, yes.
so again, there's part of your genius, confidence, because to you it was, well, because I wrote. I mean, everybody wrote. No, they don't. Most
Okay.
people would say, "No, no, I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer. I can't do that." But with you, it was, "Yeah, no problem."
I guess also, because I took a lot of writing classes. I don't know.
So did
They
everybody.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Anyway, so
So, okay, no, I'm not
I
gonna let you
liked
get
it.
off this. I'm not gonna let you
Okay.
get off this.
Yeah.
That's part of your brilliance, Judy.
Okay.
What feels easy to you, you just assume is easy to everybody else. It's not. It's
Hmm.
not. Most people I know who are my friends will say, "Jason, listen, I can't write like you. So can you help me write this card for my mom? Will you
Now you
help me
could
do this?
chat
Will you help?"
GPT it.
Now you can chat GPT it, you know?
Yeah. Mhm.
But but so you took a job, you were an engineering major who
Mm.
then went to Wall Street, who then went to culinary school, and your next job, you're a writer, a paid writer.
Yeah.
That's not normal.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
That's like that's, that's
Yeah,
renaissance there. That's not
I
normal,
guess. I don't know. It's
I
it's all in the
guess.
food world. I don't know.
It's yeah.
Yeah. I
Well, I was
guess.
writing about food. I mean, I
Yeah,
was
I was
writing about
reading
food.
food. It's
Yeah, she was probably writing in 5 different languages too.
no,
Anyway,
no, not at all.
so
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so now you're writing, and so where'd it go from there?
I was also recipe developing, and then
What
and
is
then
that
my
like? So you're at
that
home just, like,
that's all
messing
science. No,
around?
I did it in the kitchens at Saveur, so they had an
Okay.
office, and so you work in a test kitchen. And back then, this is before they kind of dumbed down the magazine. This is when Coleman Andrews was the editor in chief and founder, and they consider themselves the National Geographic of food. So they would send their editors all over the world to the corners of the world, and they come back with some recipe from this grandmother that they met, that they scrawled it in some foreign language on a napkin, and we'd have to take this cookie recipe and translate it to the American kitchen and make it over and over and over again until the editor said it tasted just right and all this stuff. And it was really interesting. So control and variables, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 20 times for the same recipe, just to get it that right. Yeah. So that was interesting.
That
So that
I
was
had
science.
no idea that that existed. That is
Oh
so
yeah.
cool. And
Totally, totally.
did you have people who were professional tasters? Like, you would create recipes and then
Well,
they
the
would taste them?
editors would taste them because the editors were the ones who would travel to the middle of nowhere in, I don't know, like Montenegro and find this one cookie or something that they loved, and they would taste it. This tastes like the cookie, that I had that was
So,
made by this 96-year-old grandmother and whatever.
I get analytics of all the people
Mm.
that listen to my podcast, and I have a
Cool.
large contingency in Montenegro, and they're now
No
really
way.
mad at you for calling Montenegro the middle of nowhere. And so I'm gonna get a
Well,
lot
it's
of
far.
write-ins.
Well, it's far from New York. It's not the middle of no.
Kidding.
I've been to
I
Montenegro. It's
I know you've been
amazing.
everywhere.
I
You
love
Judy
Montenegro.
Joo
Yeah,
has been absolutely, it should be where in the world is Judy Joo, not Carmen Sandiego.
maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
people
always
aren't.
somewhere.
You're showing how old you are. The fact that you have a Carmen
No,
Sandiego
I'm
reference.
older than that
Oh,
because
but
Carmen Sandiego was after us. I didn't watch Carmen Sandiego.
they remade it, but it was a video game when we were little. They made
It
the
was?
movie out of the video game.
See, I don't know any of that.
Yeah.
My
See,
video games, my
I
video
was a
games
nerd.
were old time ColecoVision back when I was in New
Okay.
Jersey with you, all about
Yes.
ColecoVision. Then my friends would have an Atari
Yes.
or they'd have an Activision. So together
Mm.
we'd have all the games. And
Ah,
then of course everybody went to Nintendo.
yeah.
Once Nintendo came out, I was a
Hmm.
big Nintendo guy. Anyway, we could talk
Anyway.
about video games forever. But I mean, my favorite thing you mentioned so far
Mm.
was that you would build a Lego Millennium Falcon. That was my favorite thing you mentioned
Oh,
so far. Because on
I
top
love
of everything,
Star
she's a Star
Wars.
Wars fan.
I'm
Yeah.
a massive Star Wars fan. I was playing with my stormtrooper this
Oh my
before,
gosh.
and
So
I, and
so
I hear,
so right above me, I've got a Jabba the Hutt, and over there I have my original 1977 Star Wars figures, or
oh my
actually
God,
1978. Yeah.
I have my baby Yodas
Oh my gosh, I love this.
that
Are you
keep me
watching Andor,
company.
by the way?
Oh no, is it out? The second
So
season's out.
Andor
Okay.
season 2, there's already 9
Ah,
episodes out.
my God, I'm gonna binge watch that tonight. I didn't even
Yeah,
realize. I've
Andor
been
is so
so
good.
busy. I love
Have you
Andor.
been to Disney? Have you been to Galaxy's Edge yet?
I have not. I need
Okay,
to
so you
go.
can sit inside the Millennium Falcon.
Oh my God, I want to sit
You
inside the
can go
Millennium
inside
Falcon.
the Millennium Falcon. You can sit in there, and it's the most incredible thing. You're just gonna want to, have a coffee. I love that you have all these Lego Star Wars.
These things are
It's
on my
phenomenal.
desk. This
I
whole
might have to release the video of this so that everybody can see.
it's actually, one of my secret weapons when I was cooking on Iron Chef, they actually didn't show it on screen because of trademark, but I have an R2D2 pepper grinder, and I would use that to put the pepper on all my dishes last minute, so that all my food would have the force.
So what? What did they blur it out?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not that they just cut it out. Like they
Oh, they
said,
just cut
don't
it.
use the pepper. They like after a while, they're like, just don't use it. I'm like, but I need to put the force. I need the force.
That's phenomenal.
And I have
I love this. I didn't know this about you. I love this.
lightsaber chopsticks also.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. The lightsaber chopsticks are kind of cool. They're a little slippery because they're plastic. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Well, see, now my dilemma right now is so I decided once my daughter was born, Everly is 3 years and 5 months, three or
Oh,
almost three and a half, right?
yeah.
What you're December what? What's your birthday? December
9.
what? Okay, she's
Sagittarius.
December 14th.
Oh.
So she's the 14th. So I decided I am not going to watch Star Wars again until I watch it with my daughter. Okay. But now I've had the existential crisis of what order. And do I even tell her that the prequels exist, or do I let her find out on her own? Because I'm definitely not telling her Godfather 3 exists. Like she'll have to find out on her own. So do I do I do I tell her about the prequels, or do I just show her Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi? It's tough, right?
I would, well, because the prequels are not so good.
They're
They're not
horrible.
as, yeah,
No, they're
okay.
not so good.
They're
They're
they're not
horrible.
they're horrible. I would say, and they might turn her off them, and she might not want to get through to the good
But see,
ones.
here's the crisis
So,
though. We're viewing the prequels and then the sequels with jaded eyes. But if she's watching it from scratch, she might say, "This is amazing." I don't know.
no, because the acting's really bad.
God, I love this. Keep going.
The script is not great.
The
The
timelines don't work. They don't work at all.
the acting is just terrible. Terrible. Yeah. Like Natalie Portman, I'm sorry, is really, really, really bad. And I mean, she
No,
was
the
great in other
only
things.
no. Ewan
Yeah.
McGregor is fantastic.
Yeah.
And Liam Neeson's great, but then they kill him.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. So I actually
anyway,
think that it might turn her off, and you should just show her them in the order that we watched them.
yeah,
Yeah.
duly noted. Duly noted.
Yes.
I'm definitely
Yes.
going to show her Rogue One because I thought Rogue One was phenomenal.
Rogue One was great.
Yeah.
So
Um,
good. So
all right.
good.
So you're writing, you're doing the test kitchen, and
Yes.
then how do you become a chef?
So then, my now ex-husband, we moved to London together because he opened up. I met him at Morgan Stanley. We opened up the European division of his hedge. He opened up the European division of his hedge fund in London. So we do a across the pond move, and I start working kitchens. So that's where I started working in the Ramsay Empire kitchens. I got my Michelin star experience there, and was still writing. And then after that, started doing TV while I was doing that, and that's where the
Yep.
Iron Chef thing came up. So, and this is a bit of serendipity. I was at a dinner party. Um, And I sat next to this woman. We just started talking. We're, great friends by the end of the dinner. And then she hands me her card, and she was a very senior producer at Optimum Television. And so she had me kind of popping up on her show, this big show here in the UK called Market Kitchen. And then the Iron Chef casting came up. And because I was already doing a lot of television by that time, or a little bit of television, they just had me go on the castings, casting call after casting call after casting call. And you know what it's like, call back, call back, call back. And finally, I landed that gig. I was the second female Iron Chef globally after Kat Cora, the first one in the UK. And even though the show didn't do that well in the UK, we only had one season. The guys who did Iron Chef in America, which had like 30, 40 seasons, consulted on the UK production and started bringing me back to United States to do more with Food Network. So I became a regular face on Food Network, was a part of the Iron Chef franchise there, competed as well as was a judge as well. And and uh um and then that led to my own show, Korean Food Made Simple, which I had two seasons of, which was on Food Network globally. And first book, Korean Food Made Simple. And then and then I started opening up my own restaurants. I had Jinju, which had two locations in London and one in Hong Kong, and stepped away from that brand in 2019 to open up my quick serve fast casual concept called Soulbird, which
I have
is,
eaten
oh, where?
in London.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. And then and so I've got seven of those now.
My gosh, you're at 7?
I'm at seven. I'm at seven. One in Las Vegas and Aria, three in New York. I'm at Barclays, Citi Field, and Madison Square Garden. I'm got one in London, in London, and then Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, also in London, and Edinburgh Airport.
Hey, I'm going to be in Edinburgh this summer, so I'm definitely going to grab some
You'll see
Soulbird
some
at
Soulbird.
Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing in Scotland?
So I'm bringing a play to the Fringe next summer, and
No way.
so
That's a
my
great
yeah
festival.
yeah. So my producing partner and I and Grace are going there for a week this summer to scout the location that we're going to use for next year.
Hey, okay, well, you'll have a place to eat in the airport now.
Yeah, and you'll come to the
Yeah.
show next year. You'll love it. It's going to
Oh,
be
I
great.
love it. Yeah, that's so
And
fun.
so let's talk about this, okay?
Hmm.
Because you're very deflective when I tell you how brilliant you are, and I think it's because you look at other people who you
Mm,
identify as brilliant, genius, whatever, maybe your older sister, maybe some other people, and you say,
yeah.
no, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
And you don't
Hmm.
recognize the fact that what you have accomplished is something that very few people have ever accomplished. And that is making multiple career changes, finding happiness and fulfillment at all of those levels and success. And they've gone hand in
Mm.
hand. It hasn't been easy. It's not like you've been, skiing downhill on a perfect slope. You've hit
Uh,
some moguls, you've wiped out a few
Oh, yeah,
times,
completely.
you've
Yeah.
broken a couple of bones and had to,
Yeah.
get reconstructive surgery, but you're still skiing. And every year you're skiing more difficult slopes and bringing more people onto the slope with you. How's this
Hmm.
skiing analogy going? Is it working for you?
It's working for because I am a skier. Yeah.
There we
So,
go. That
yeah,
was a lucky
I will.
guess.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
And so you've really done incredible things. And that writing that I said, how did you know you could write? Now you've got your second book out. So how is your
No, I have
second book,
my third
your third book? Oh my
my
gosh.
third book. Yeah.
So how
I
is your
finished.
third book different from the first two?
Okay, I'll show you. This is my most
Ooh, do I get to
recent
see it?
home. We'll
Oh, I
send you
love.
one
Oh, I've actually
also.
already seen it on social media,
Okay.
but
Okay. Well, we'll
that's a
send you one.
great cover.
Do you
Like I'm
like it?
judging that
It's
book by its cover, and I'm judging
oh,
it to be pretty cool.
so
Yeah.
it's Korean food in 30 minutes or less. I'm on the back cover. And it's I think it's 100 something recipes. I don't know, just That's a
Incredible.
tofu kimchi one, some
Mm.
squid, everything. Uh, Soups and stews. Oh, I love
Okay,
this
here's
one.
what I'm
This
gonna
is
do.
fried
Yes,
apple,
you are
McDonald's fried apple mandu pie. Dumplings, fried apple
the McDonald's
dumplings,
fried apple has
and
burned
dumpling.
more tongues than anything in history.
So good. Yeah.
So you are going to send me that book, and here's what I'm going
Yeah.
to do. I'm going to take pictures of when I cook those recipes, and I'm going to send them
Yes.
to you, and you're going to let me know how they look.
Okay, great. Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect. Yes,
absolutely. Now,
definitely.
are you doing a book tour at all?
Um, I have been doing a kind of a book tour. Well, I'm doing like all the morning shows and stuff. So I just did Good Morning America last week. I'm doing today's show for my book at the end of the month. I was on Sunday brunch here in the UK. Last week I did another show called James Martin Saturday Morning here, and then I'm just doing a bunch of interviews, podcasts, and I'll do some book signings also. And then I might be doing something with the with universities and colleges in September. We'll see. Yeah.
Really?
Mm. Yeah, I'm doing a campaign with Aramark. So they are a huge food service, like publicly traded company, and they actually are the operators in a lot of arenas, universities, schools, kindergartens, all the stuff, healthcare facilities, hospitals. They provide all the cafeteria services, and so we're trying to see if we can do something. I've right now I've done a campaign with them right now for AAPI month, and then we're seeing if we can do something more substantial in some of the universities that they're in. So we're trying to figure that out now.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's fun.
Now, and with all of that, you're still working less than you did when you were on Wall Street.
It's different
You're not
because
doing 100-hour weeks anymore, right?
no, but I'm definitely working a lot. Yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah,
and I'm not
absolutely.
tethered. And if I don't feel like working, I don't because I'm working for myself. Whereas like before, like if I had a deadline, I had to do that. Whereas like I do have deadlines now still, but it's more self-imposed work versus doing work for other people, which is better.
I'm going to put you on the spot. So you work for yourself.
Mhm.
So the first question I'm going to ask you is describe yourself as a boss. What's it like working for Judy Joo?
Oh, I don't know. You should ask my employees that.
No,
I
I'm
think it's
asking you.
probably tough.
Okay.
They probably say I was tough because I have a certain standard, um, which I believe that needs to be adhered to, a quality standard. Um, and I like things done a certain way. Um, like there's a level. So, I guess it's like I don't want things to just taste good. They have to taste amazing. You know. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability. I'm not gonna do it half-ass, right? So it's like I'd rather not do it at all. There's kind of like a like like take it and do it properly or just don't even bother.
So
So
then how do you
yeah.
and I've talked to you about that before in the
Mm,
past about how quality matters to you. So how do you manage that when you have restaurants in Vegas, in New
yeah. So
York?
that's very hard.
How do
So
you Yeah, how do you
yeah.
do that?
So this is why it's a quick serve concept. These are one trick ponies. They're only like two things on the menu. Yeah. So it's hard. It's very hard because sometimes we go there and it's not great, and sometimes we go there and it's great. So it's really consistency is so hard in any restaurant though. But that's something that you kind of just have to let go a little bit of, particularly in these arenas, because it's never going to be perfect ever.
Mm.
So, but I guess like but those are like licensed deals, so we kind of expect that. Like it's not going to be perfect every single time, like they try hard, but it's just the nature of the business. It's very hard to keep on top of quality control. But if it's just, me and my team and we're doing something small, like we try to get it as best as we can, but there's no such thing as perfect, right? Like
No, there isn't.
this is not three Michelin star dining either. But if we are pitching for a deal or a site or something and we have to submit a proposal or something, like I will read and read and double check and triple check that proposal till I think it puts our best foot forward so that we have the best shot at that, and we will still get rejected and we'll still lose. It's just about putting your best foot forward all the time. Yeah.
So what's it like having Judy Joo as an employee?
I think I'm a pretty good employee, actually.
Yeah.
I would say most of my ex-bosses would say that. Um, because I feel that I genuinely loved what I did, and I think when you love what you do and you're learning, and I'm the kind of person that like was, like you said, jump, I say how high, like it was always about like doing it and doing it to the best of my ability. And even when I was working at the banks and stuff, like I very much consider that even if I'm a cog in the wheel, right, of a very big corporation, like I am my own brand no matter what. Like if you tell Judy to get coffee, she will get coffee quickly, fast, it's hot, on time. You
It's
know
gonna
what
be
I
some
mean?
good
Like
coffee.
it's gonna be some good coffee. You know what I mean? So because you're like, so that, and I think that that's kind of what I've built a lot of my empire on. It's like, even delivering a recipe to an editor, publications have no money anymore. And the fact that I can write, the fact that I can deliver a recipe that works, you know, the fact that it needs very little editing, it comes with a witty, fun head note, that editor is like, wow, okay, Judy Joo can deliver. I'm going to use her again because I don't have the time. I don't have the time to edit. I have a short deadline. I know that she can provide me with a quote that's in a soundbite, is short, witty, pithy, whatever, funny, etc. Like I'm going to use her again, So I think that people need to remember that they're always their own brand, no matter what. And the quality of your work is a direct reflection of yourself, always.
Well, we've come a long way in this interview because you just called it your empire. So
Well, it's a
it
small little
is.
empire. It's a
Listen,
small little
you
empire. Yeah.
you are an incredible person. You are intelligent, you're flexible, you work well with others, you have a great
Try.
sense of humor. You don't take yourself incredibly seriously, but you take your work very seriously. But what you mentioned earlier is that you've got to be kind and you've got to get along well with others. Like you've got to be, people need to like you. I think that is why you are so successful because you're going to make the best cup of coffee anyone's ever had if you're going to get them coffee. You put you into the work you do. And because you are such a
Yeah.
great person, you produce great work. It's not hokey when you said you've got to like yourself. No, you have to like yourself.
Yeah.
That's the beginning. Like
Yeah.
that's the first step.
Yeah.
And you've mastered that.
Yeah.
I'm in such awe of you. I can't believe
You're
that
so
we
sweet.
used
You're
to
so sweet.
chase each other on the playground. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I think it comes back to the playground. You have to play nicely in the sandbox throughout life. You know, throughout life, you have to share, you have to play nicely, and it is all about kind of the basics of everything. It kind of comes back to your upbringing. And look, we all have bad days. Like we all have bad days. We all have days when we're overtired. We all have days when we've had bad news or something. It's like nothing's perfect, right? But I think that in general, when you are secure in yourself and generally a happy person, you are just kinder to others, like there's no reason to be mean to your taxi driver or your barista or you know what I mean? Like it just say hi and thank you and flash a smile, and happy people do that, right? It
Yeah.
comes naturally, it's only like when you have maybe you're super stressed out and that happens, and then you take it out on somebody else because you just can't process it. And that happens, but it it's just about being able to deal with that. And believe me, like I've not had a perfect life at all. Like this is, like my life is still not perfect, but I feel like I've been through enough crap in my life that I just don't sweat the small stuff, like I just like nobody's, I have a bad day, okay, nobody's dying, nobody got hurt tremendously, like I'm okay, I don't have cancer, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna get up early in the morning and we'll deal with it. It's fixable. It's
Yeah.
fixable. How do we
You're an
fix it?
engineer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Listen, see, we're going to come to the end of this in a minute.
Yeah.
You're the opposite of me because I only sweat the small stuff. Like it could be
Ah,
the biggest thing in the world. I'm calm. I don't sweat. I'll figure it
wow.
out.
That's so
But
funny.
if I step on something in my office that shouldn't be in my office, I will take out the world of anger on that little block. Because that block is there to thwart my existence. Like
Oh,
I
wow.
only sweat the small stuff.
Oh my gosh. So funny. Even if it's a
Um,
little Lego in the shape
uh,
of a
exactly. Which
baby,
is,
a stormtrooper,
let me tell you,
Mando.
there you go. I'll tell you, a little Lego. That is, I mean, I'm telling you,
Painful.
my daughter has been home aloneing me since she was born. She just leaves things for me to step on,
Uh,
and it's those little things. But I'm working
uh
on it.
So funny.
Judy,
So funny.
thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
I could talk to you for hours just because you're such a great person.
Aw, thank you. I could talk to you for hours because you're such a great person. I
Well,
want to know
listen,
what
next
you're
time,
making in your workshop. Yeah.
uh, well, I'll tell you what I'm making because I'm making it today and giving it to her today. So this isn't going to air for a couple of weeks. So it's my friend's birthday. She's my wife's best friend, and she's really into, the Harry Potter stuff and things like that, even though she's an adult. So I am making her a magic wand out of 150-year-old wrought iron anchor chain. So I'll go to my forge, I'll heat it up, I'll hammer it into like a nice like shape. I'll make some cuts in it, put some twists, and then I'll sand it to a place where it looks good. And then I'm going to go to the art store and get like an imitation emerald because that's her birthstone, and I'll place that inside the wand somewhere. And so I'm making her a magic wand, and then I'll etch it in acid and make it look like old wood. Yeah,
That's amazing. That's amazing.
yeah. I'll show you a picture when I finish.
Oh my God. Are you gonna put a unicorn hair in there too or something?
I'm fresh out of unicorn hair,
Corn
but I
hairs.
might use a
Oh,
dragon scale. Yeah,
okay, that's good. Yeah,
yeah.
that's good. I like that. Perfect. Amazing. Love it. Thank you so much. Thank
You
you.
got it. All right, Judy. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.